Hello, welcome to an educational video. Today we're going to learn about supply and demand. But first, let's talk about supply and demand. Supply is the amount available and demand is the amount sought after by consumers. Now that's out of the way, let's talk laws. The law of demand says that there is an inverse relationship between the price and the quantity demanded. This means when the price goes up, the demand goes down. So let's show that. Let's look at this chart of numbers. As you can see, when the price is high, the quantity demanded is low. And as the price drops, the quantity demanded goes up. Now let's talk about shifts. A shift is when the entire market moves in one direction or another. So let's say a study comes out showing that milk leads to baldness. This would lead to people not wanting to drink as much milk. This would cause the demand curve to shift inwards. Now let's say that a new study comes out that says that kids who drink milk do better in school. This would mean more parents will buy milk, which will cause the demand to shift outwards. Now let's talk about another way that shifts work: complements and substitutes. Complements are something that go well together, like Oreos and milk. Complements work in such a way that when the demand for one goes up, so does the demand for the other. You can show it in a graph just like this. When the demand shifts out for one, it shifts out for another. Substitutes work the exact opposite. Substitutes do not get along. You can't have one without the other. Therefore, when the demand for almond milk shifts out, the demand for regular milk shifts in. Now let's talk about a little bit more complicated of a topic: the change in quantity demand versus the change in demand. Drawn here are 3 points, A, B, and C. Between A and B, we have a change in demand. This is when the entire demand curve shifts out. Price stays the same, demand increases. Between A and C, we have a change in quantity demanded. This is when the price changes and the demand shifts along the demand curve. Now let's talk about supply. The law of supply says that there is a direct relationship between the price and quantity supplied. This means that when the price goes up, the quantity supplied will also go up. So for example, in dairy farmers, when the price goes up for milk, this creates incentive for these dairy farmers to produce more milk. There are also shifters on the supply curve. One of the most common shifters is the price of resources. For example, when the price of dairy cows goes up, this shifts the supply curve in, and when the price of dairy cows goes down, this shifts the supply curve outwards. Another common shifter is the introduction of new products that increase production. In the milk market, let's pretend a new product comes that can get more milk out of the cow per second. This is called technology. With the introduction of new technology, it usually always results in the shift outwards on the supply curve. Now, let's put these two bad boys together. Remember, demand curves down towards the dirt and supply towards the sky. Now when we put them together, we see that they cross in one point. This is called an equilibrium. The equilibrium is where the price demanded exactly meets the quantity supplied, but the market isn't always in equilibrium. This is called disequilibrium. Disequilibrium can happen twice: when the price is high, where the producers want to produce but the consumers don't want to buy. This is called a surplus. It can also happen when the price is too low. Consumers want to buy, but producers don't want to produce. This is called a shortage. With no government interaction, these will always fix themselves. Now, let's do a quick recap. This is a supply and demand curve: demand towards the dirt, supply towards the sky, with an equilibrium in the middle. Thanks for watching.